Thank you very much for joining Operation Graduate today for one of our student spotlights. I'm Sarah Benham, director of the team, and it's been just a pleasure to work with you up to this point. Again, thank you for spending some time with us today.
Well, you're very welcome. That was a nice introduction. I
So
love the
let's
company.
start by finding out a little bit more. Well, I heard you say I love the company, so I gotta
I
tap into
do.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Tell
I
me
do.
more. What has your experience been like up to this point?
Okay, so when I first found out about Operation Graduate, um, I had no, I had went online through Niche. I was filling out scholarships because I was just getting ready to start out, um, figuring out how I'm paying for college. As an older adult online student, I'm kind of like trying to pay my way and try
Mhm.
to get some scholarships. So filling out the scholarship form, I'm guessing the Operation Graduate was one of those partners with
Mhm.
the scholarship, program. And so I had got a call from one of your representatives, and he had explained to me that that's how they got my number. And I was like, wow, he explained what Operation Graduate was and what they do and what you all do.
Uh-huh.
And he said, we basically help you on your journey. We stick with you every inch of the way. Like, you need some extra push, or you need some guidance, some tutoring. We help you with your classes. And I was just like, what? There's a program like this? Like, this is great. So from that day, I kept in contact, and I was just trying to, first figure out, what do you guys benefit from that. So
Mhm.
I was a little skeptical, because I was like, what do they benefit from this, helping me get through college? Well, at first I was like, is this a scam or what? But it isn't. So i just I've been in like awe from day one.
Well, thank you. It's interesting that you bring that up, Ashley, because a lot of students do ask us, they're like, hey, what's the catch? And maybe they
Mhm.
come with what I would call a sense of healthy skepticism, right?
Yes.
And it's such a joy to hear you say, like, there really isn't any catch. And
Yes.
it's a little hard sometimes when you're brand new, getting to know somebody to even have an
Mhm.
opportunity to build some trust. And
Exactly.
our students who have worked for us for a while, obviously they know us and appreciate us, but even doing these spotlights can be beneficial because somebody who might not be really sure, hey, is this legit? They
Mhm.
can watch these videos and they can know
They
they're real
can.
people who care, who are here to help. Um, so you found out about us through Niche, you were looking for scholarships, you got contacted by one of our graduation specialists, and then you were off and
Yes.
running. Okay.
Yes.
So you're attending Indiana Tech, and I'm hoping you can speak for a minute about what you're studying and why you ended up choosing that program.
Sure, I sure can. So I am studying for health information technology, or they like to call it health information management. The
Uh-huh.
associate degree is technology. You get more in depth when you do management. Also, for my curriculum and my degree program, I've added on a certificate of health science, and then a
Hmm.
certificate of medical coding to go along with my degree program. The reason why
Excellent.
I chose that is because currently I work as a CNA.
Hmm.
I believe my job is very rewarding. It has its ups and downs, but in the most part of it, I love caring for people. I love doing for those who aren't able to do for themselves. I love being that person that's that go to when you need help. So
Hmm.
I chose to go into the information technology part because I wanted something that could motivate like stimulate my intellect, not just,
Okay.
I wanted to do more of the technical side and be more in administration, because
Hmm.
I feel like my skill set would be better um, useful in that direction. So I chose information technology.
So I think, first of all, it's wonderful that you can be that advocate for your patients and that you already have that experience that you're bringing to the table.
Thank
That's
you.
probably so valuable. I don't
Hmm.
know if in your discussion boards, in your classes, if you've been able to maybe add and contribute a little bit more because you have that experience, but I would guess so.
Yes.
Um, yeah, you've had. Okay. A lot of times when you have more experience or you're an adult going back to school, I think you do find that you have a little bit more to contribute.
Yes.
Also, particularly in your case, when the professional experience you have also aligns with what you're studying. So,
Yes, yes. I didn't think it would at first, but it kind of sort of like in the medical terminology classes, especially because I've been through parts and pieces of it.
mhm,
It gets more in depth with the medical terminology class, and being online, it's a little bit more challenging because you're not in front of the instructor, but
mhm,
you can regulate your time to where if you have a question, you can email or you can reach out to somebody. There's always going to be somebody you can reach out to, which is the best part about online classes and courses. The hard part to me is,
uh-huh,
like I said, I'm not able to be like, hey, hey. So, part of being an adult and being online is that you have to learn to have great time management and
mhm,
put your free time, not your free time, it's your study time, especially if you have
mhm,
more than one class. You have to learn to, hey, take out what you do on a normal basis and replace that with studying, you know?
mhm.
Don't go out on Friday, stay in, do your
You get your homework done and you save money, right? Two
Yes,
benefits.
yes.
So, it sounds like you've been able to implement some good time management skills and that you
Yeah.
still feel like as an online student, it's interactive. You have the chance
Mhm,
to ask a question, you will get a
mhm.
response. What kind of response times have you found, from your teacher or from your classmates? What does that turnaround time look like?
The turnaround time for my teachers or my professors would sort of kind of be almost, by the time I check it, it'd be about maybe 4 or 5 hours. If
Okay,
it's
so
a
I'd say that's
weekend,
pretty good.
that's
Yeah.
not bad at all. I thought it would be
No,
like a day. Now,
that's what I
some
was going to think.
instructors,
Yeah.
yeah, some instructors, they have a little bit more of a caseload, so it might take them a day. So the longest would be a
Hmm.
day, but that's why you plan ahead and try to do your assignments ahead of time so you can ask that question and give them the time to answer it before your assignments due, because then you can finish off your assignment. Now, if you don't do that and you want to wait till the last minute, you're going to have to finish your assignment with that question and then wait for the response and probably, get it wrong or right, just do your research.
Yeah, I think the key that I'm hearing you say is that you're not procrastinating. You're not waiting until the
Mhm,
last minute to do your work because then you've
mhm,
built in a buffer time where you have a
mhm.
chance to ask a question. Have you been able to take advantage of any of the resources? I know a lot of universities, they have a tutoring center or a writing lab, mental health resources, career services. Have you been able to tap into anything along
I've
those
tapped
lines so
into
far?
the most let me see, the writing center, where you can, for Indiana Tech, they have a writing center where you can actually write your paper, send
Hmm.
it into the writing center, and they'll check over your paper. They'll help you with any corrections, any questions you have. But again, you have to do that before time, before your paper's due,
Hmm.
so they can send it back. You can make your corrections. I've done that, the writing center. Any other resources? The internships. Now they have
Oh.
internships. Yeah, they
Hmm.
have like I want to say it's monthly internship, where this program where they have a list on your win page,
Okay.
and they list them to where you can click it if that falls within your category or your degree. You can click it and apply for an internship. So that's awesome.
Ashley,
That's
that's
awesome
great.
for
You're actually teaching me something new. And whenever I
really.
learn from our students, I of course pass along the information.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad I could do that for you.
Thank
Another
you.
one. You're welcome. Another one that I looked into. I think that's about it as far as the resources. I haven't really had a chance to do too much because I'm studying so much.
Well, and speaking of that, I mean, it's clear that you're working hard. Congratulations. You were recently on the dean's list. So,
Thank you.
can you speak to that for a minute? I know we were a little bit before we started recording, but what has that done for you and what kind of conversations have you been having, about your experience on the dean's list?
Okay, so my experience on the dean's list. First time I've ever made the dean's list, but um, my experience so far is that it's I don't want to say it's easy to do it, but it's easy to start the process because you have a goal in mind. You're gonna motivate yourself. You hopefully have a team of people who are motivating you. Maybe you might have reasons why you want to do this. Um, and you get there, right? You get to the top of your goal. Now the hardest part about that dean's list is maintaining that goal.
Yeah.
It's not
Hmm.
the getting there, it's the staying there. So as far as that experience, right now I'm in the next session. So my next class has started after the dean's list, and I'm trying to maintain that status, because what I want
Uh-huh.
to do, my end goal is I want to graduate with a 4.0. I want to stay that way and make it continuous. And to do that, you just have to buckle down and just, like, keep that momentum going. Because if you don't, I mean, you will, because you got Operation Graduate.
I love it. We will reach out if we notice that there are concerns, and we try to do
Exactly.
that early on.
Hmm.
I think a lot of students definitely appreciate having an
Hmm.
accountability partner, along the
Yeah.
way. We try to find the right balance as well.
Hmm.
Now, you mentioned you've set that bar high for yourself and now you want to maintain it.
Yes.
You're also in a very challenging program. Health information technology is not easy.
Oh my gosh. It's not. It's not.
It's very
Hmm.
challenging. So we often work with students who are in your degree program, and I'm glad to hear you're already using the Writing Center.
Hmm.
In case you ever need it, there's also free tutoring available right through Canvas for most
Hmm.
classes through tutor.com. So
Okay.
just to know
Okay.
that's there. I
Okay.
learned from another student recently that when you're in Canvas, actually in your course, that there's a whole tab for learning resources.
Yes, there is.
So
I
I
always
just
think
learned
that.
that yesterday from another
Yes.
student.
Yes.
And it's just good to be in an environment where you can share best practices, because
Yes.
a learning management system has a lot of components, right? That's
Hmm.
Canvas, basically what you're using for your online courses. And
Hmm.
also, every instructor sets things up differently. We
Yes.
even found out very recently, okay, why is this looking different than we're used to? Oh,
Hmm.
well, this instructor is doing it
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
And
My
just
instructor
having a
now.
community of people who you can kind of quickly, like, hey, why can't I find this? Oh, this is different this
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
Somebody to bounce your ideas, challenges, and also
Hmm.
celebrate successes. I think that can be a big motivator.
Yes, it is. And the one thing that I like about Operation Graduate is this, and I'm gonna tell you this. They, the what do you call your the team? What do you call the team? I'm so sorry.
Graduation specialists.
Graduation specialist. Not just one graduation specialist has messaged me and congratulated me. I think you have, and also another person and another person. And it's like all the team of people who are there, and I'm like, all these people know about it, and then I get reminders like, hey, this week is spring break week, don't study, I mean, like, don't go logging in classes, you won't have class this week. I'm like, oh yeah, so those are reminders, hey, classes are starting, make sure you get an early head start, or like those things right there is what makes it beneficial for me, especially because I was coming in skeptical. I was like, oh my gosh, what's this? But those are like awesome because I'm a full-time mom, I'm a full-time student, and a full-time CNA. So I kind of like, I forget things. And so when I get
Mhm.
those text messages or email, I mean, that's the best part.
Well, I'm glad to know that it's helping.
Yes, it
We
is.
definitely feel grateful for the work that we have a chance to do, right?
Mhm. Yes.
So I'm curious, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about going back to school, Ashley?
Go back to school. When you go back to school, make sure you give it your all, and don't just halfway do it. If you're going back to school, you have your goal in mind. Make sure you set time aside to study and to be aware of what's going on. Read your syllabus, and know what's next. And then once you do that, you can do it.
I love it. I think it's great advice. We literally take the sentiments of our students and share them with others regularly. So don't be
Okay.
surprised if you see yourself quoted at some future date.
Okay.
Um, so what else do you want to share, Ashley? The platform is yours for a minute. Anything else that's
Okay.
important to you?
Yes. Okay. So the reason I got back into school, it wasn't necessarily for me, which it was. It was. That was the ultimate thing. I said I want to be something. I want to be somebody. Um, as I was completing my CNA classes, um, my dad was diagnosed terminally ill, and
Mhm.
this was last year in January. Um, in February last year, they called me. My dad actually called me and he said, I don't think I'm going to make it. And I said, okay, well, I got to take my state exam. I'll be there next week. He said, no, so I stopped. I had to call the instructor, tell her, I said, can we please reschedule? So, long story short, I got there, came back, and 4 days after I got back, he passed away. And 4 days after that, I had to take my state exam. So I passed it. And I promised myself, I promised my dad, and I promised my kids. I said, not only is this going to be something that motivates me, but I'm going to do this for all of us. I'm going to make this positive. So no matter what you go through, you don't have to look at something in your life ugly or this is bad. You can always look at it and turn it into something positive and let it motivate you. I try to teach my kids this. It's not about what you go through in life. It's about how you pick yourself up. So I lead by example. It's about perseverance. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
and if you, in the face of adversity, when you can pull yourself up and become something and take that hardship and turn it into something good and positive, that's the definition of strength.
Ashley, thank you.
You're very welcome.
What's your dad's name?
My dad's name is Mario Mosley.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, I'm confident that he's extremely proud.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we're all proud of you. And I really am grateful that you took some time to share your story today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you all are in my life because not only is it motivation, but it's the people that's behind you, helping you as you're pushing yourself. So thank you
I
guys.
don't often get choked up on these, but I think I'm getting a little bit choked up on this one.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm
Don't
so
be.
sorry.
It's just like anything, right? I mean, this is
Yeah.
such a motivating
Yeah.
discussion. And what you
Yeah.
just shared about your dad, I'm definitely
Hmm.
going to remember that. So thank you.
Thank you so much.